Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2027 and a half, 2027 and a half BC, the album. Dad, shimmy, shimmy, and rock on, gorgeous woman. Beast! How are you guys doing today? Happy Tuesday. Are you having a good day? Okay, so let's get into this video today, shall we? I put up these questions frequently over on my Instagram. So if you want to be part of the questionnaire, if you want to be part of the poll, if you want to be part of the poll that gets shoved up, you know. Anyway, if you want to be part of the poll or the questionnaire that I put up on a pretty regular basis, then you have to follow me on the OGIG. Then you have to follow me over on the OGIG. That's where I post all this stuff. So I posted this thing up there yesterday about topics that, here, I have it pulled up right here. I put over here, where is it at? Oh, I just posted this picture of this squirrel drinking out of this coffee cup and this rescue dog and all this little sweet stuff over there. But anyway, I posted this thing and it said, what topics do y'all want me to cover on my drama channel this week? I even put, oh, there's some rescue dogs. I even put this little isn't that a little jiffy down there at the bottom that says drama? I'm so technological, aren't I? So anyway, I did that yesterday because I was like, I don't really know what I want to talk about this week, you know? I mean, I have all these like, I have all these like funny haha videos to do. I have like a rant complaint video to do, and all that kind of stuff. And I want to do another unpopular opinions video. So I think I'm going to put up a questionnaire probably today or tomorrow about my unpopular opinions about whoever you want to know, what I think about whoever. The last time actually that video, people seem to really enjoy, where I said, just give me a name and I'll let you know what I think of this person. People seem to really enjoy that video, so I might do another one of those. I don't know, I'm gonna do another poll tonight. So you're gonna want to follow my Instagram, okay? Because it's where all the fun is happening. It's where all the rescue dogs and the rescue squirrels hang out and things like that. So anyway, but yeah, so I put that poll up last night, and then I finished watching the world's most boring trending show in the entire world, which is called A Girl's Guide to Murder on Netflix. It's based on the Holly Jackson novel or series, or so. I about fell asleep watching that. I'd watched the first 2 episodes the night before, and that was in between me watching Sister Wives and Big Brother. I'm binge watching Sister Wives. I'm currently on season 8. And Big Brother, catching up on Big Brother. Real Housewives of Dubai. Real Housewives of Orange County. What else am I watching? Old seasons of Survivor. And Defending Jacob, Presumed Innocent, and Glitch, and then what was the other? Sharp Objects. I have binge watched. I literally finished, like, I keep a list of all the shows that I'm watching. I literally finished like 3 shows on one night. I was like, you are really on it. So if you like talking about TV, I have a TV watching channel. It's called Peter Watches TV, and I cover all the TV shows over there. I cover all the reality TV. I cover all of the trending shows. I cover all the true crime documentaries. Oh, that was the other one I watched, The Lost Women of Highway 20. That came out a couple years ago. It's Emmy nominated. It was fantastic. Done. So I do all the true crime over there if you're interested in it. And I also just started a shark movie club where every week we watch a shark movie together. Some of them are very serious. Some of them are very stupid, like Sharks of the Corn and Sharknado. And some of them are like the canon shark movies like Jaws and things like that. So if you like shark movies, I'm terrified of sharks. Yesterday, I said this in my video yesterday, but I was at the pool, and these 2 kids were playing in the deep end of the pool, and they were like 1st and 3rd grade. And the one kid said to his brother, he goes, can you see underneath the grate? And the other kid's like, what? He goes, there's a shark. And he's looking at us, and he's trying. I was like, oh, we're not doing all that. We're not playing these shark games in the pool, okay? We're not doing all that. I don't even like to swim in a pool at night because I think there might be a shark in there. So anyway, so I was like, I posted this last night because I wanted to hear what you guys want me to talk about. Now, it's interesting, the topics that I got over here, because people keep on asking me, like, why aren't you talking about this, or why aren't you talking about that, when I have said in videos, I don't want to talk about this because I don't know enough about it, and so I don't want to give a negligent response to something and just get on here and be like, well, this is what I think because I've read like one tweet, right? You know what I mean? And so I went through it last night and I saw some things come up. Some things I kind of had seen a little bit about, and other things I had to look into. So I'm just going to read what you guys wanted me to talk about, and I'm going to be completely transparent with you about how much I know about this and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Right here now, we're going to get into it. Y'all ready? It's shake and bake, and I helped. So it's interesting because out of all the things that people asked me, I think I knew like two. One of them was RawBeautyKristi. Two of the things that people asked me about, I was like, I know what's going on with this situation. The rest of them, I was like, I have no idea what these are. Some of them I had to even like look up who the people were. Some of them I'm not even going to mention on here because I don't even know who they are. So somebody said, why my cats won't stop behaving? Because cats are aliens. Didn't you know that? Okay, cats are aliens. They are. Go Google search it. You'll see the picture of the cat that has an alien inside of it. Anyway, when the world is taken over and all the cats, like, they come into their true alien form, then everybody will know. I was telling them. Then you guys will be like, oh my God, Peter was telling the truth. Cats really are aliens. They really are. Somebody said, Fleetwood Mac. That's the topic you want me to talk about on my channel. What about Fleetwood Mac? Oh my God, I love Fleetwood Mac so much. I do. Well, Stevie Nicks. I mean, I love Fleetwood Mac as a band. I mean, they're not together anymore, obviously, but I love Stevie Nicks individually so much. She's probably my favorite solo music artist of life. Fleetwood Mac would probably be in my top 5 bands of life. Interestingly enough, Stevie Nicks would probably be in my top 3 favorite. I know people are like, she's not your favorite. I mean, it kind of goes back and forth between like who I really, really like favorites. And my bands would be like the Smiths would be in there, The Cure would be in there. And my top 3 favorites, the Grateful Dead would definitely be in my top 5. Grateful Dead would probably be in my top 2. Jerry Garcia as a solo artist would probably be in the Jerry Garcia band. That would be bands. But Jerry Garcia as a solo artist, but he didn't really perform solo very often. But I love Jerry Garcia. I mean, he's obviously since passed too. Janis Joplin would be in my top 5. Bob Dylan would be in my top 5. But Fleetwood Mac would be in my top 5 bands, but it wouldn't be my favorite bands. Who would be my favorite band of life? God, I don't even know. It kind of changes from time to time, you know? But I do love Fleetwood Mac, and I think the moment of the last couple years, one of the greatest moments was going to see Stevie Nicks in concert this year. It was literally like, I don't really have, like, people talk about bucket lists. I don't really have, like, a bucket list. I don't. I feel like I am so blessed every day that I get up and I have another day alive, and I have had a pretty miraculous life, and I think, you know, like, my best friend Tanya Jean, she always says, the older you get, the more the road narrows, which means it's like you see things on kind of like a different, you don't like see things, you know, in this huge level. You see things on a smaller level. And, you know, when I was younger, I had this bucket list of like, I want to go here and I want to go there and I want to do this and I want to experience that. I don't really have that so much today, in all honesty. And I know this is kind of serious and this isn't what, we're going to get to the influencers in a second, but this is what I was asked. So we were talking about Fleetwood Mac. Now we're going to talk about the road narrowing, you know? But bucket list stuff, you know, I wouldn't say that seeing Stevie Nicks was on my bucket list. I don't even think that I knew that, but it felt like a bucket list thing. Like I said, I don't really have bucket list stuff anymore. I'm just grateful for each and every day that I get to live and get to film videos and do something that I love over here, you know, and get to hang out with my family and my friends and travel and stuff like that. I have a blessed life. You know, every day that I wake up and our little dog is still here, it's like, okay, it's a good day, you know? And so, like my friend says, the road narrows. You know, it's when I look back on my life now, the most magical moments that I've had in my life are really not sometimes the biggest moments. It's not like the outrageous places that I've gone or buying a bag that I dreamed about for, you know, 2 months. It's like, those are not the moments that I look back on my life. The moments that I look back on my life are like, my husband and I, we're coming up on, our 13-year wedding anniversary and 16 years together. And I can remember the day after we got married in Las Vegas. We got married at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. And I can remember the day after, like, laying by the pool with him and just, like, talking about all, like, everything. And that, like, that moment for me, you know, is just, like, this moment in time. And then, like, I can remember when my mom was sick and my friend Tanya and I came over here. It was before she was in the hospital the last time. And we just like laid in the bed with her and we like joked with her and stuff like that. It was like the last time that I really remember my mom like laughing, and she was telling stories and we were joking with her, and Tanya loved my mom and she was joking with her. And then like, you know, the moments of Tanya and I just like driving around, you know, drinking fountain pops, laughing, telling stories and stuff like that. Those are the moments for me that like I didn't know were on my bucket list, because I think they're moments that you take for granted when you're living them, but you look back on and they're things you wish you could live over again, you know? I've been to a lot of fantastic places. I've done a lot of fantastic things. I've had a lot of fantastic opportunities. I wouldn't trade any of them for those small moments that I've had with people. It's the people in my life. It's, you know, the sponsor of mine that passed away, I think 2 years ago, you know, just sitting outside and talking to him, you know, after a meeting, and him just like laughing at something I say, you know, and him just shaking his head. And, you know, and I just think of him like sitting in the sunlight. You know, and it's just like those moments that you have with people. And I don't think you really, it's like, you know, like you don't appreciate your parents. Like if you had good relationships with your parents. I mean, my relationship with both my parents was fantastic and crazy at times, you know. But you don't really, sometimes I don't think, appreciate, like I can remember complaining about having to go to holidays. Now I love going to holidays, you know. The older you get, you start appreciating that stuff more. You know, watching Alex's mom, she and her aunt got this mariachi singer for his cousin's birthday because she loves mariachi music, and he was like singing in the kitchen, and his mom and his aunt and their two friends were like dancing, and I have these videos of it. It's like this moment of time that I can forever see his mom and his aunt dancing to this music and being funny, and it was music that they loved when they were growing up. And those are the moments that you don't know are on your bucket list until they've passed by, you know. And that's why I try to live each and every moment. So I didn't know I thought this was going to be an influencer video. I didn't think this was going to be a real serious video today. So thank you for asking me about Fleetwood Mac. But seeing Stevie Nicks was definitely on my bucket list. And when I was there and I was sitting there and she played every one of her songs that I absolutely love. And this woman next to me said, I heard she plays all new stuff. It's not any of your old stuff. And then she played every single old song and ended it on Landslide. It was like it was created for me, that moment, you know? And I was so happy. I can remember leaving and Alex was like, did you have a great time? And I was like, yeah. And I said, you know, and I felt this like, because, you know, people are like, oh, she'll never tour again. I'm fine. Like, if I never see Stevie Nicks in concert again, I'm good, you know? I had that moment. And I'm really happy that I got to have that moment, you know? So anyway, thank you for asking that. Okay, somebody said, Brooke's apology. I'd love to hear your opinion on that entire situation. Okay, so she's talking about Brooke Schofield. God, do I want to get into this early in the video? Okay, so for the last, I would say, month, I have had so many people reach out to me and ask me to talk about Brooke Schofield, okay? The only way that I knew who Brooke Schofield was that she was a friend of Tana Mojo's and they did a podcast together. That was all I knew about Brooke Schofield. I don't know. I didn't know she was an influencer. I didn't even know she had her own channel. I didn't know that, I guess, I looked her up last night. It's like actress, influencer, spokesperson, spokesmodel. Do you remember that from back in the day? What was that show that we used to watch back in the day? And they'd be like, it was the one that Britney Spears was on, that show, that talent show. What was it? Not So You Think. It was way before So You know what I'm talking about? Was it The People's Choice? What was that show called? But they'd always have the spokesmodel competition, you know? They'd have these two gals walk out there and stuff like that. I always wonder why they didn't have guys being spokesmodels. Did they maybe sometimes have spokesmodels? But usually it was girls. And they always was like, kind of like doing this kind of stuff. Like they wanted to be like the next, you know, I was going to say Wheel of Fortune, like Vanna White. They wanted to be like the next, like Price is Right. Like, you know, I always wanted to be that. Oh my God. I loved Janice so much on The Price is Right. She was like my favorite. Do you remember? But anyway, I wanted to, they always wanted to be like the next Price is Right, you know, like spokesmodel person. So I didn't know who Brooke Schofield was. Now, I had seen all these videos go up, okay? I've been seeing all these videos come up from other drama channels talking about Brooke Schofield and all this kind of stuff. Now, I don't know about you, okay? But like when I'm going through my TV shows and things like that to watch, if it comes up and it's like, Top 10 moments of ESPN. I don't watch that show. Okay, I don't know about you, but I don't watch that show. Okay, just because I have a TV watching channel where I watch TV shows and I cover them, don't mean I'm going to watch a show called The Top 10 Biggest Moments of ESPN. I don't give a fuck about sports, okay? I just don't. I don't know about sports. I don't watch sports. I don't care about sports, okay? Interestingly enough, I shared this on my vlog. I don't know if I share it over here, but when I was growing up, I was being trained to be a professional tennis player. So a little unknown fact for those of you out there. But I don't care anything about sports. I don't watch sports, which is interesting because both of my parents, my dad and my mother both loved college football. And my dad my dad loves all football, but they both loved college football and college basketball. My mother was a huge college basketball fan. I don't really even understand football to this day. So many people have tried to explain it to me. So it'd be like if I were to like go through and I'd be like, ooh, I should watch this. I have no interest in Brooke Schofield. And I honestly haven't followed Tana Mojo in quite some time. I think the last time that I really covered anything about Tana Mojo, I could be wrong about this, but was when she like fake married Jake Paul, and then she came out with the business where she was going to manage other people. Do you guys remember that? Is that still going on? Is she still doing that? Like she came out with this big business where she was going to like make people superstars or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. Now, a lot of people have asked me to talk about Tana Mojo's sobriety. I don't know anything about her sobriety. Apparently, it's something that she's talked about on her podcast, okay? Like I said, I am an avid TV watcher. I don't watch very much YouTube at all anymore, in all honesty, unless I'm doing some research for a video or something like that. The Brooke Schofield stuff is so extensive at this point that I said in a previous video, I said I wasn't going to cover it because I didn't want to give a negligent response to it. And so, for that reason, I wasn't going to cover it. When I posted this yesterday, you guys, I got so many questions about Brooke Schofield. Like this one, Brooke's apology. Like she said, I'd love to hear your opinion on that entire situation. Let me go through here. Hold on a second. Brooke Schofield and the allegedly fake Aussie. Brooke Schofield, Tana's podcast partner, called out for past racist tweets. Brooke Schofield, Tana's sobriety when they were talking about it on Cancel. Gonna keep asking, somebody said. It goes on Brooke Schofield, Brooke, your opinion on Brooke. All these people kept on asking me about Brooke Schofield, but there's more about it. Brooke Schofield's racist tweet. Brooke, Tana, and Alyssa Violet, whatever her name is, drama, somebody said. Brooke Schofield. And so, what was this last one? Well, this is like a long one. Hold on, what does it say? Cover the Brooke Schofield drama with Clinton Kane and her old tweets that are viral. So, I read this article last night because I saw these come up and I was like, okay, I want to find out what this is about because I'm not going to watch 10 videos about it and all this kind of stuff. So I read this article, and the article is actually from Time.com, so it's from, like, Time Magazine. They're apparently covering, this is where when people want to come over here and they get so pissed at me about covering something, and they're like, oh my god, your opinion. It's like, major news sources, and I say that, and people are like, major news sources? Like, really? Major news sources? Yes, Time is a major news source. I'm sorry, it is. Rolling Stone is a major news source. I know people don't want to believe that. CNN is a major news source. All these people have covered a lot of these influencers. Go look. I do. And so I read this article last night, and I guess, like, the breakdown of it, and you do not need to explain it to me because I don't care enough to understand, okay? Because I don't know who Brooke Schofield is. That's like if I said to you, could you talk about Judy Smith that lives 20 minutes north of Oklahoma City and her breakup with this guy, and you'd be like, I don't even know who you're talking about, so I don't have any investment in that person at all, okay? I think racist tweets are horrible, obviously. I don't know about this. And I watched her apology. I thought it was, it's not mine to accept. So what do you want me to say about it? I don't even know the girl. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about the girl. I watched this whole thing. So I'm just going to tell you what I thought when I was reading the article. Okay, and I read it like it's like a timeline of stuff. And it shows the videos and all this kind of stuff. I did not watch her 14 TikToks. So apparently she and this guy, this Clinton Kane, broke up. And he's like a musician, TikToker, and they were dating. Okay? And then they broke up and she put out like some TikTok talking about that, or she talked about it on the Cancel podcast and then some TikTok or something. I know people are already like, no, Peter, that's not how. Okay, well, this is what I got from it. Somehow they broke up, okay? Then she called him a liar and said that he lied to her about everything. And then he was cheating on her. And then she put out 14 TikToks that are now have over 140 million views on it. And then he responded to it with TikToks. and his TikTok's got a lot of views on it too, and apparently he put out some kind of apology or something, and then she got a lot of attention over this. Okay, this is where, when people want to talk about why does anybody care about Dramageddon, this is where history repeats itself, okay? This, to me, when I was, like, reading this, because then it came up and I could see as I was reading it, it said, her tweets are revealed. Then these tweets of Brooke Schofield's come out that all this, like, pro-Trump stuff, homophobic stuff, these racist tweets, all this stuff came up, right? And then she comes out and she does this apology TikTok, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And now people are like, I went on her last video that she had on her YouTube channel, which is like from 2 months ago. And it's like, I mean, the newest comments since this has all come out, and this literally just came out in the last couple days, the tweets, is not good. But this is where history does repeat itself, okay? Because this is, again, like, Gabriel Zamora, Manny MUA, Laura Lee, and Nikita Dragon coming out against Jeffree Star, right? And they really thought they had the one up, okay? With the picture saying, you know, bitch is bitter without us, right? Then Jeffree Star turns around and says, I can't be bothered with these people. They're all trash, basically, okay? Then everybody finds these exposed old tweets of Laura Lee and Manny MUA. And then that's where the Laura Lee apology comes out. That apology, okay, the gray hoodie apology. That's where the whole gray hoodie apology thing started, okay, when people start talking about the gray hoodie apology. You know, that's where, you know, Manny MUA came out and said his personal life is in the green, even though his social life, or his social blade, is in the red. So, here it is, we're repeating history again, okay, is that Brooke Schofield gets a lot of attention for this Clinton Kane situation because she's now basically sharing her story about how she was done wrong by a man. And I feel bad for her for this whole situation, you know, whatever's going on with that. I don't know enough about it, right? But then people dug and they were looking, and the people that probably don't like Brooke Schofield, and then apparently it was this one person, this person on TikTok, I don't know, that put out these tweets. Then she's forced to put out a apology. What was interesting was, I went and I looked at her social blade. She's gaining like 1,000 subscribers every couple days. This is not hurting her, you know? And this is a thing that I think that it's interesting to me, the decision to come out and talk about this. Like, I was reading this one article about it, and it said that this is kind of what, like, a lot of these people that surround Tana Mojo are known for, is, like, coming out with all this stuff and then whatever. I don't know about that, right? Like, did she come out because she needed to share her story? Did she come out? I don't know the story well enough, and I don't know her well enough, right, about all that kind of stuff. I think what's interesting is when we talk about this, like, cancellation mentality, which I am not a believer in cancellation. Like, all these people that want to claim that they were canceled, like Manny and Laura want to talk about being canceled. Manny and Laura have I mean, it's not thriving, but they have a podcast that is doing okay, you know. They're making videos. They're still living in gorgeous houses. They, you know, both have their own makeup lines and other lines and things like that. Shane Dawson has 2 homes. He has a ranch in California and a working farm in Colorado. He puts out a podcast a week and 1 video a month or something like that, right? Like, it's not like he's working, you know, 3 jobs to pay the bills. He's not canceled, you know. All these people that want to talk about, Trisha Paytas said she's been canceled 15 times. Trisha Paytas has a thriving podcast. You know, all these people that want to talk about cancellation, I'm not a big believer in cancellation. Cancellation's when you hit the unsubscribe button because you decide that you don't want to watch that person anymore. That's about as deep as cancellation goes. I said this with the RawBeautyKristi thing, and I will say this with what I know of the Brooke Schofield thing. I think that had this happened 4 years ago, it would hit a lot differently, okay? I think that people are so completely just immune to all of this stuff coming out anymore that they don't really care. What's interesting to me is that one day all these people are like completely siding with her. It's like, does anybody really care about the issues? That's my question, right? Like, at the end of the day, my motive is like looking at this. Does anybody really care about the issues, or is everybody just invested in like the up and down and the story of the drama that's going along with Brooke Schofield? Like, are we picking a side? Is it her and this Clinton guy? And then he's allegedly a fake Australian and said his mother was deceased, and apparently she's not, and lied about his age and all this kind of stuff. And, I mean, I can't believe, and I mean, I'm not saying that those lies are nice, but, I mean, I've dated my fair share of losers, okay? I've dated my fair share of liars. And when I was using drugs and drinking back in the day, I'm sure some people would say that they dated me and I was a loser too, you know? I don't know that I'm making 15 TikToks about it, right? So do I wonder if it's a little bit about attention because it was this high profile case and they're both getting a lot of attention over it? Yeah, what I don't think she expected was these tweets to be exposed. But I think in today's time, you know, she came out and she apologized for it, which in all honesty, from me covering drama, is a hell of a lot more than a lot of people do. I mean, most people act like they don't even, what, who? Racist tweets? What? Allegations of predatory behavior. What? Who? Oh, let me break out my ukulele. I mean, most people don't ever address anything, you know? Do I think that her apology, people are asking me what I thought about her apology. I don't really know it. I don't know her well enough to think if her apology is real or if it's not real, and I don't feel like it's mine to accept on that note. And I haven't even read all the tweets, okay? I think that we're in a time where you have to decide whether or not you're going to continue to follow somebody or if you're not going to continue to follow somebody. I would get on here and say that I would look into this further to cover it, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really have that much investment in Tana Mongeau, in the life of Tana Mongeau, in the friends of Tana Mongeau, in Brooke Schofield that I didn't even know until a few days ago who she even was. Clinton Kane, that I was like, George Clinton, I like his music. Who are you talking about? I don't know who these people are, okay? I have no emotional investment or even pop culture interest in people that I have no clue who they are, okay? I am more interested in seeing Chanel Ayan from The Real Housewives of Dubai on the next season of Traitors, okay? I could give a shit about Brooke Schofield, and that's just the truth. And so if you like her and you want to follow her, okay, she to me is just a bleep on the pop culture world. She doesn't even have that many followers on any of her, like, you know, I mean, she does, but, like, not compared to a lot of other people. So I'm like, I think it's actually helping her more than it's hurting her, because in 6 months, everybody will have forgotten, and they'll refer back to this incident, but Brooke Schofield will continue to go on, right? And so this will just, I think, indirectly help build her career. That's what I've seen historically with other people, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know anything about her. I don't know her. Okay, let's go back to the top. Somebody said they rebranded them sea monkeys as aqua dragons. Oh my god, I was talking about sea monkeys yesterday. Aqua dragons, let's look this up. I did not look this up. Aqua dragons. If I look this up, the official Aqua Dragons website. What? Oh my god, I might have to. There's an Aqua Dragons song. Grow your own live aquatic pets. Oh my god. Oh, look, this is totally. These are sea monkeys. Oh my god, here's the thing that I had when I was growing up as a kid. These are totally sea monkeys. There's volcanoes. Oh my god, I'm getting one of these. Oh my god, it's going to stink up our house. My mom hated those things when I was a kid. Okay. Somebody wants me to do an old school magazine video. If you want me to do an old school magazine video, it's where I just read through magazines. I just give you my opinion. Somebody said anything but Jaclyn Hill. It's interesting that you say that because so many people on here ask me to talk about Jaclyn Hill. They asked me to talk about Jaclyn Hill in this podcast that she was just in. People keep on begging me to watch that stupid podcast with Manny and Laura. I mean, I just feel like, I'm going to be honest with you. I am so past. I think people know this, but like, there's like Peter that's kind of edited for video, and then there's like Peter that like when it's completely edited. I am so tired of Manny and Laura, and they just like, whenever I have to watch even like 2 seconds of that podcast, and she's like, oh my god, like really, blah, 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 and whatever, and you know, I don't know, maybe it's because I feel like she sounds a little bit like me or something like that, but they just sound stupid. They just are ignorant, and they sound stupid, okay? And that's my personal opinion, and I am allowed to have that personal opinion, and that personal opinion goes back to the fact that they discussed Colleen Ballinger, a very serious situation, with no research or no history, okay? Didn't even say that they didn't research it. I at least get in videos and say, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. 25 cents for the custard. I think that was the second time, so 50 cents. But they didn't even get on there and say it. And then Laura's like, yeah, like, didn't that happen like 4 years ago? And blah, 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 whatever, right? And then they get everything completely wrong. And then when they're called out on it, I mean, I watched it in real time, okay? First, they turn off the comments. Then they delete the video. Then they never address the video. They never come out and say, like, this is why we took the video down. They just keep it moving, right? Now, Laura and Manny, two people that have had what other people would call major cancellations. I don't, because they have this podcast. They think the best way to go about this is to sweep it under the rug. That was honestly the moment that I just was like, no, y'all have lost me, okay? You have lost me, because I just think this is a trashy response, okay? It's trashy and it's tacky. It's cowardly is what it is, okay? You should have got on video and you should have said, we didn't do our... And why is this such a stretch for people to do this? I get in videos all the time and I say I got something wrong and apologize for it. I don't understand why that's such a stretch, right? For them to start their next podcast and say, we took down the last podcast because we obviously didn't do our research. It honestly would have helped their channel. This is where they're so stupid, okay? Because it would have helped their channel. Because a lot of people left their channel over that, but they didn't do this. But if they had come out and they've never addressed it, ever to this day. They continue to talk about shit that they don't know about. They continue to. People send me clips all the time of Manny and Laura co-signing Jaclyn Hill's bullshit and acting like they're all, like, what secret are you all in? We know the truth, okay? You guys still don't do your research. That's the battery stopped. That's why it's called Fool Podcast. I mean, you guys are it's like literally... It's like ignorance in real time to watch it, right? But if they had come out in that next podcast and be like, the reason we took our podcast down was because we were speaking about a very serious situation. We hadn't done our research, and we don't want to speak on topics without doing our research, right? But they didn't do that. They just kept it moving and acted like it never even happened. No, I was done with them. People want me to watch 2-hour podcasts of Manny and Laura talking with Jaclyn Hill. I mean, 3 people that I just can't even be bothered to even like. I mean, it's one thing for me to watch a 10-second, non-disclosed affiliate link Amazon Instagram reel of Jaclyn Hill. It's another thing. I can hardly get through one of her videos to cover it, okay? So to have to watch those people, I mean, no, I'm not, listen, 2 hours of watching that Fool podcast, that's literally like, I mean, that's like 6 episodes of Sister Wives. I've got better things to do, okay? I have no interest in watching. I mean, I've thought about it because people keep on asking me. They're like, watch this podcast with Jaclyn Hill. What do you want me to get in the video and say? I already know what the podcast is going to say, okay? Jaclyn Hill is going to come out and she's going to say something about, like, her brand, and they're going to, like, go, oh, yeah, your brand. She's going to act like she owns her brand, and they're going to co-sign that, and she's going to paint a different narrative than actually what happened, when we all know what happened because the court documentation is out there. She never owned the brand, okay? She never owned Jaclyn Cosmetics. She may have owned it for a minute and sold it to Forma. But towards the end, she never owned it. She was never the controlling factor. She had no decision over whether they closed it. It's all lies. She's a liar, okay? And so when she's going to get on this podcast and she's going to act a certain way, and Laura and Manny, because they'll kiss anybody's ass that they think will help them in some way, they're going to co-sign that, and I'm going to watch 2 hours of it. No, I want to find out about Mary getting catfished on Sister Wives. I don't care about it, okay? Jaclyn Hill has been doing that shit for years, okay? Nothing surprises me. I'll continue to talk about it. And if I get bored enough, maybe I'll watch a 2-hour podcast about it. Can somebody just give me the Cliff Notes? Just give me the Cliff Notes on it, okay? I don't want to sit there and then go back and forth about, oh my God, blah, 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 and Manny have some horrible international male, 50% silk blouse on, okay? With just looking bad. And a pair of stonewashed jeans. Manny MUA, for having as much money he does and being supposedly this gay role model, which he's not, okay? Like, I mean, there's 2 people on my worst style list. James Charles is number 1, and Manny MUA is a close second, okay? A very close second to me. Y'all are my age group. You know what I'm talking about with international male. If you don't, look it up, okay? And I swear to God, he gets everything from there. So, anyway, no, listen, don't even come over here and be like, oh my God, your body shit. It's his clothes, okay? Us Magazine, People Magazine, Vogue, everybody does best list, dress list, and worst dress list, okay? Don't even come over here for me with that. I can say whatever I want to say. They say the same things on their podcast about how people are dressed. They did a whole Coachella review of how people are dressed. Don't even come over here to me with that shit, right? They bore a snake. They're so boring. Anyway, somebody said, James Charles dragging Toddy Westbrook. Oh, did he? I didn't know about that. Half of the stuff I read on here I don't know about. So let me know where to find that. Put that in the comment section below. Somebody said Kristi. What do you mean? What about Kristi? RawBeautyKristi? Or Kristi Williams up the street? I don't know Kristi Williams up the street. RawBeautyKristi, I thought I knew her. I don't know her. I don't know RawBeautyKristi, okay? I don't know her at all. But I will tell you this, is that, so my last video that I did about Kristi, a couple people reached out to me and they said, I commented, it was more than a couple, it was probably 10 people, said I commented on Kristi's video and asked her why she wasn't addressing these things, and my comment's still up there, so she's not deleting comments. You need to sign out of your YouTube, and you need to go back in, and you need, not signed in, and you need to go look at her videos, okay? Because what she's done is she's blocked you. This is more proof that Kristi is not addressing anything, and in fact is actively blocking people, because I went and I looked at her last 3 videos. At about the 10th comment or DM that I got about that, I was like, let me go in and look at RawBeautyKristi's videos. I went in and looked at her newest one last night, her second newest one, and her third newest one, and I went and looked at all of them, and there's not one comment on there. In fact, the only comment that she has on there, and it's a top comment, is, Kristi, I know you've been called out for some stuff recently. I'm really sorry that you're going through a hard time. Getting called out for some stuff? What stuff are we calling RawBeautyKristi out? If it's just stuff, then she should come out and address it and say, I am appalled. I am appalled, okay? If that were me, if I was getting called out for some shit that I didn't have anything to do with, I would be appalled. I would get on video and be like, I don't have nothing to do with this, okay? I don't have nothing to do with this. So, you know, she wants to come out and address it, then we'll all know, but she doesn't. And the go-to, the ignorant go-to is, well, she doesn't have to address anything. Well, that protects her, doesn't it, you know? So, you know, but your comments are being blocked because they're not on those videos. When you get blocked, so they used to have back in the day a block button on YouTube, which means you can block people from your channel, whatever. They don't have that anymore. The button is now, it says hide user from this channel, all comments will be deleted, which means that you can still watch their videos, okay? You can even leave a comment, and you'll think you're leaving a comment, but it won't go through on the video. It'll hide your comment. So it will not show up on their video. So you think you're leaving a comment, but it's not on the actual video. You've been blocked, girl, okay? There's not one comment on RawBeautyKristi, any of her last 4 videos. There's not one comment anywhere there asking her about these allegations, talking about these allegations, other than her going through some really tough shit right now, okay? Because she was called out on some stuff. Called out. This is when people, like, it's interesting to me, and we're going to get in the Rosanna Pansino thing in just a second. Well, maybe we should just get into that now, so this kind of goes into that, because I know a bunch of people are asking me about Rosanna Pansino. Here it is, MrBeast and Rosanna Pansino. So this is a situation that, well, when it originally came out, it was about MrBeast and somebody that worked for MrBeast. And I was like, that no longer works for MrBeast. And I was like, I don't know enough about that situation. And this situation seems very, very serious to me. Therefore, I'm not going to come out and give an ignorant statement about this situation because I haven't looked into it enough. I still haven't looked into it enough, okay? I don't know that much about MrBeast. I have no interest in MrBeast. I'm not that invested in MrBeast. I know that MrBeast is not really just like one guy with a YouTube channel with, you know, hundreds of millions of subscribers. It's a corporation. It's a business, all right? And so recently, because these beast game things are going on again, and apparently people are being treated this way or being treated that way, Rosanna Pansino has come out and she is speaking about this again. Now, this is a different kind of beast game than apparently the one that she was involved in. But if you guys remember, I remember, okay, because it's, if I have to, like, people ask me all the time, do you have videos that you regret making? Yeah, I regret making that Rosanna Pansino video. I didn't realize that Rosanna Pansino was one of the most protected people on YouTube when I made that video, okay? People were so pissed that I even said her name in a video. I used to joke and say the rule of, like, 2024 is you don't talk about Jeffree Star. The rule of 2023, 24, 25, 26 to 29, okay, is you don't talk about Rosanna Pansino. So I'm literally risking my life right now talking about her online, because that's the truth. You just don't talk about her. People will come for you left and right, okay? You do not talk about Rosanna Pansino. I didn't realize that her shit was laced in gold, but apparently it is, okay? So I said in a video the other day, and I was even nervous about saying this. I was talking about the two people, the two influencers that tweet the most, or Elon Musk, who's not even an influencer, it was a joke, but he's literally tweeting like every 5 seconds, and Rosanna Pansino. Rosanna Pansino, who I don't even follow, okay? She's literally tweeting out like every 2 hours about this MrBeast situation. I'm so confused, I don't even understand it. What I do remember is that Rosanna Pansino was asked by Jimmy, MrBeast, to be part of this Beast Games, okay? And she apparently came in, I believe, third or fourth place. I don't really remember the details, but I remember the story. And she came out and exposed it. And basically what it was this kind of like, she suggested it was this very misogynistic point of view that MrBeast wanted it to be like these top 3 guys. It was also these guys that had like really huge platforms like Logan Paul in comparison to her. And so she came out at the time and she was tweeting like crazy about it, right? And around that similar time was when the Colleen Ballinger stuff happened. And so people were like, Rosanna Pansino has done a ton of videos about Colleen Ballinger, right? A ton of videos. Now, this plays into what I think about this whole situation. So, because this is what I do care about, okay? So, a lot of people were being like, well, Rosanna Pansino has all this to say about this and all this to say about that. Why is she not saying anything about Colleen Ballinger? Like, I'm confused, right? Okay. So, she does this whole, like, she comes out and talks about MrBeast at this point. Now, one of the things, the other rule of 2024 is that you don't ever insinuate that Rosanna Pansino is tweeting out at a pace more rapid than Gabby Hanna on a computer about MrBeast because she's bitter about how she was treated before. You don't insinuate that, okay? You don't say that. You don't insinuate it. Rosanna Pansino has every right to come out and share her story. I agree. She does. She has every right to come out and share her story. What's interesting to me about this, and I'll tell you this, I don't know enough about this, okay? I think I've maybe in my life watched 3 or 4 MrBeast videos. You know, I mean, I don't, like, okay, I don't, like, relate to him at all. I don't watch his videos. I haven't been asked to be in his games. I mean, I don't know nothing about him, okay? I don't really, to be honest with you, know a lot about Rosanna Pansino, other than she was in some Scream Queens reality show, and then she's on YouTube. She bakes a lot of shit, and she's done 100 videos with Colleen Ballinger, okay? So, what's interesting to me is that when I made the video talking about Rosanna Pansino calling out Colleen Ballinger, she made one statement on Twitter. One statement about Colleen Ballinger, okay? At that time, what people said was, Rosanna Pansino does not have to come out and speak about Colleen Ballinger at all. She doesn't have to. Just because she's done 100 videos with her, just because they've helped build each other's careers, just because they've taken pictures together and things like that, doesn't mean that Rosanna Pansino has to speak about Colleen Ballinger whatsoever. Okay, so that was the stance at that time. Now what I'm seeing is that when anybody criticizes Rosanna Pansino for coming out and speaking constantly, okay, about MrBeast. I mean, I could probably go in right now, if you want to know the truth, into her Twitter. It'll probably come up. And I don't know why. I don't even follow the gal, but it's like it constantly comes up. Every time I look up here, it didn't come up here, but let's look her up. Rosanna Pansino. Oh, here she is, Rosanna Pansino. Let's see her last tweet. Well, she got a pinned tweet about MrBeast. And then 19 hours ago, she's calling out somebody. You don't watch me anymore, but post a response to every single one of my tweets. It's about MrBeast. And then 21 hours ago, here's an excerpt from the New York Times article that came out last week about MrBeast. Then 23 hours ago, contestants were instructed to supply, okay, this is about MrBeast, like asking for people's underwear, which is weird. Yes, I agree with her 100%. And here's from a day ago, Jimmy's production, MrBeast. Here's, okay, then she talks about this book she's reading. Then she goes back in again, MrBeast PR team. YouTubers trying to avoid having to admit MrBeast injured a dozen of people for a YouTube video. New updates regarding MrBeast. I mean, this is the thing, right? I make like 3 videos about RawBeautyKristi, and people that love RawBeautyKristi lose their minds. Rosanna Pansino, and that's my job, first of all, okay? Rosanna Pansino's job is to make cookies and cakes, okay? I thought she was a baking channel. She has every right to come out and talk about what she wants, right? Hold on to that thought. I think she has 100% right. But like my channel is dedicated to doing drama and talking about people. And and people know that. They come to my channel knowing I'm going to talk about people. And then when I do talk about people and I just bring attention to people about Jeffree Star or Kristi or James Charles, people like get real upset about it. And like, you don't have a right to talk about this person. When I'm literally, that's what my channel is about, right? But this is what I'm interested in, okay? Is that Rosanna Pansino now is coming out and saying all this stuff about MrBeast, okay? I'll be honest with you, none of it surprises me. And I'm glad somebody's calling out the truth, I'll be honest with you. This is the thing. Rosanna Pansino, if it's all true, and I believe it to be true, because I don't think she seems like somebody that is going to ruin her reputation out of coming out and saying a bunch of lies. That is the one thing I do think about. She seems pretty up and up. She cares a lot about her career. She seems like she's well thought through in this stuff, okay? So I don't think she's somebody that's going to lose her career over coming out and saying a bunch of stuff about MrBeast. So if Rosanna Pansino's saying it, it's probably got to be true. For me, none of it really surprises me. I think MrBeast and his machine of that channel that he has over there and the company that it's like 100 people or whatever. I mean, does it surprise me that all this weird stuff is going on over there and he's the front of it? No, but all this other stuff has come out about MrBeast, right? All this other stuff. She's not speaking to that, which maybe is a good choice because she's only speaking to what she knows, right? But all this other stuff has come out of like, well, she did post some things, past things that he said in videos, past like, you know, kind of like oppressive things, well, not kind of, really oppressive things that he said in like live streams and stuff like that. She clipped that, she put that up on her channel or her Twitter and stuff like that. What's interesting to me is that everybody, like anytime somebody on like her Twitter is like, why are you going on and on and on about this? It's like literally there's 10 people underneath that are like, she can share whatever she wants to share and she needs to come out. This is the thing about it that's interesting to me, right? So everybody in the world right now is coming for MrBeast because all these allegations are coming out about MrBeast, right? And rightfully so. I think this needs to be called out. What's interesting to me is that a lot of people are really supporting Rosanna Pansino, and they're saying that, and like this is me just looking at the situation, not knowing a lot about it, okay? All I know is that Rosanna Pansino, her interaction with MrBeast is by being on the show and having bad outcome and him lying to the audience and editing the videos and all this kind of stuff, right? Supposedly, allegedly, per her. I do know that she has a long, extensive history with Colleen Ballinger, and I know people are like, why are you comparing the shit? Because for me, as a drama channel that's been covering this stuff for 8 years, there is a comparison. So if you're saying, why are you comparing the two, then you're obviously somebody that's trying to defend a situation that I'm not even provoking, so there's no defense needed, right? But when people were asking Rosanna Pansino to come out and talk about Colleen Ballinger, people were saying she didn't have to. Then when she put out one statement, people were like, that is more than anybody needs to do. We were at that time talking about a woman that had predatory allegations with evidentiary proof, okay? Rosanna Pansino came out and finally made a statement about it. Has never spoken on it since. Has never spoken. In fact, just went on Joey Graceffa's channel on his video. Joey Graceffa, Colleen Ballinger's other best friend, and Rosanna Pansino, one of Colleen Ballinger's closest friends, they get in a video together and don't talk about Colleen Ballinger at all. Joey Graceffa has never talked about Colleen Ballinger, okay? Then she comes out with all this MrBeast stuff, and people are like, yeah, come out and speak about it. Share your experience. People will listen to you because you're Rosanna Pansino. I 100% agree with that. That's why I said at the time, she should come out and talk about Colleen Ballinger. Had she come out with as much passion that she's talking about this, if she had come out at that time with as much passion about kids being hurt by a woman in the industry that people didn't even want to believe because it was about a woman in the industry, if she had come out with that kind of passion back then, and was tweeting out stuff that people were saying and resharing stuff that people were saying like she's doing about MrBeast, people might have paid a little bit more of attention to it. You know, this is why I say things like, if this person had spoken about that, you know, if this person had spoken about that, you know, that story didn't really get a lot of traction for a couple days, and here we are, you know, a year later, Colleen Ballinger, she's posting videos, not getting a lot of views, but she's posting videos. She's got a podcast with her husband. She's talking about starting a summer camp for kids and things like that, you know, and listen, I got no bone to pick with Rosanna Pansino, you know, it's just like, now everybody's like, yes, come out and tell your story. She is the one to come out and tell the story because she is somebody that's thought through. She's professional. People are going to listen to her. People would have listened to her. I wish the same people that take issue with certain things would come out and give the same energy to other things. And so then to me, it shows complete bias. It's like, well, you didn't want to come out against your friend. You only came out and made a statement when it was really like necessary because it was going to hurt your career otherwise. And I know that this is going to piss off the Rosanna Pansino the fans, because the last time that I said anything about her, I was like, I'm never making another video about Rosanna Pansino because it just everybody gets so pissed off, okay? I take no issue with Rosanna Pansino coming out and talking about MrBeast. I think she should. I think she should share her experience. I think if she's just passionate. So listen to what I'm saying before you start taking off in the comment section, okay? I think she should. I think she should share her experience. I think she's the person that people will listen to because she is Rosanna Pansino, and she has presented herself so professionally in the past, and people do look up to her. It's why when you do speak about her, people go crazy because she has a fantastic reputation. All I wish is that she would have spoken a little bit more about Colleen Ballinger. I think it would have given the story a little bit more relevance. That's all I'm saying. I don't know about this MrBeast stuff, okay? So it's hard for me to not look at it and be like, you're speaking so much about this situation, but you only came out with one statement about Colleen Ballinger. I'm not dogging her for that. I mean, maybe she just didn't want to come out and talk about her friend. I don't know, you know, but she hasn't ever spoken about it since, and she doesn't have to. And I know that people will be like, well, she doesn't have to. I understand that. But if somebody that gets this much respect in the industry, if this person that people are listening to about this MrBeast situation, and the majority of people underneath her tweets when she's talking about it, the majority of people on how she's being silenced or taking TikTok down and stuff like that, people are listening to her, you know? And she has a lot of respect, and rightfully so. She's worked very, very hard in her career. And a lot of people are really listening to what she has to say, you know? Maybe, like, I don't know, think about giving some credence to other situations that are really passionate and important too, you know? So, I don't know. That's what I think about the Rosanna Pansino situation. Obviously, the situation's very personal to her, and that's why she wants to talk about it. And obviously, other situations haven't been. I don't know, you know? And yes, people can talk about what they want to talk about. Absolutely, 100%. Anybody can talk about whatever they want to talk about. Nobody has to be forced to talk about anything, including me. Somebody said Jeffree Star last posted his YouTube video 9 months ago. See, I'm already worried about talking about this because I'm like, this is going to burn my ass, because people, the Rosanna Pansino fans, are going to get so pissed about this when I say this. I didn't say anything wrong about Rosanna Pansino. I said she has every right to talk about this. I think she is the person to talk about it, because people will listen to her, okay? That's all I said. I wish she would have given a little bit more passion to the Colleen Ballinger situation, because I think that, too, was a very serious situation. I think it continues to be a very serious situation. More serious than, I mean, one statement, and then she never speaks on it again, and goes on Colleen Ballinger's best friend's channel to do a video, and they don't even mention Colleen Ballinger, two people that were best friends with her, and yet she tweets out every 3 hours about the Beast games. It's just, to me, you know, and this is where I think a little bit, like somebody asked me on here about what I think about fandom and stuff. I think sometimes fandom blinds us a little bit. I mean, if you're not asking any questions at all, like, that's a problem a little bit, right? Like, that doesn't, asking or saying, I wish she would have spoken more about Colleen Ballinger, doesn't take away her speaking about MrBeast. It's just a question. It's just a question, you know? So, let's go on here and see about Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star's done. I'm bored of Jeffree Star. His makeup don't sell no more. His TikToks aren't even doing that well anymore. He should come back to YouTube. It would actually be a smart move for him. He keeps on feeding all this stuff out about Nashville. I don't follow him closely at all anymore. Is he moving to Nashville? Is he coming out with some country music album? Thinks he's the next Beyonce or something like that? Bored. I'm bored. Jeffree Star doesn't pull views. Nobody cares about Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star knows nobody cares about Jeffree Star. Nobody cares about that meat and makeup store. Nobody cares. Even if he did put out music, girl, it still sound like, I mean, his music would still sound like MySpace music from 2010. I mean, it's not like Jeffree Star, no offense, Jeffree, and I know your fans are going to crazy over this one, but it's not like Jeffree Star, I mean, I think he put out a couple cute songs, but it's not like he has some huge vocal range. It's not like Jeffree Star is like the greatest musician in the world. The reason why Jeffree Star's music did so well at that time was because he was the first doing something, right? If he came out today with the likes of Taylor Swift going crazy and Chappell Roan and things like that, he can't compete, okay? And I think Jeffree Star knows that. I think people are kind of over the makeup at this point, and like, I think financially it probably helped him to move to Wyoming, but I don't think it helped him career-wise. I think it removed his relevancy. I think also him saying, I think at the time he was at the top of his game, when he was like, I'm done with this person, I'm done with that person. Well, now he doesn't align himself with anybody except for a bunch of TikTokers, you know, that he's battling it out. So basically at this point, he's not even really a makeup mogul. He's not even really a musician. He's not even really a makeup reviewer, except for a couple TikToks that he does there and there. He's not even a YouTuber anymore. He's just a TikTok battler is what he is. And I said this a year ago, and I'll say it again. That is a sad note to go out on, okay? That somebody that was as influential as Jeffree Star was and had as much power on the press, like, that's a sad note. This is where when people are like, he's going to release his book, this would be a really bad time for him to release his book, okay? if I were going to be Jeffree Star's like marketing person for his book, if he's going to release his book, I'd say you need to go out and do a life update on YouTube. You need to start doing some stuff you need to start pulling people's attention to you again, because this book is not going to sell. Nobody's interested in the life of Jeffree Star right now. He done killed that. He did that. And I said, it's going to be a sad day when Jeffree Star goes out battling somebody that nobody even knows on TikTok. Well, those days are here. I said that people were like, I can't believe you're saying that about Jeffree Star. It's just my opinion. All this is just my opinion. Doesn't make it true. It doesn't make any of it true, you know? Somebody said, are Adam McIntyre and Trisha beefing? They said, I understand if you don't want to talk about Trisha. I have no idea if they're beefing or not. I haven't watched Trisha in quite some time. Actually, a couple people asked me about Trisha. Somebody said Gabby Hanna. I don't know anything about that. Somebody said Trisha wanting to confront Daniel Prada. About what? What? Can somebody put the podcast that I need to watch underneath there for this stuff? Because I don't know anything about that. Okay, a couple people asked me to talk about the Amberlynn Reid stuff. Now, I don't follow Amberlynn Reid that closely anymore. A lot of people ask me, I guess, to cover the Amberlynn Reid stuff. I've gotten DMs, not just on this, but Amberlynn Reid, okay, you know, she goes through girlfriends about as fast as she, you know, changes her underwear, which she changes her underwear probably about once every 3 weeks. So, but anyway, Amberlynn Reid, you know, it's so funny because, like, back in the day when I would make Amberlynn Reid videos and I'd talk about her apartment smelling like day-old stew and stuff like that, it's like everybody could, like, handle those jokes. But now if I make a joke about her not changing her underwear for 3 weeks, it's like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Like, we all have the funeral vespers and we can't handle a joke and stuff like that about Amberlynn Reid. Amberlynn Reid has dedicated her entire channel to trolling people, okay? I knew that years ago when I asked her if I could make a video about her, and she said, make whatever you want to make. People don't give a shit people will say shit no matter what you say, so it doesn't really matter. In that moment, she switched her entire career on YouTube. She realized she was getting more hate than she was getting positivity. She realized it was around the moment that she showed on her AdSense how much she was making a month on YouTube. And at that time, I believe she was making like $12,000 a month on YouTube. What she realized was that the hate was paying her bills. And so if she pandered to the hate and the haters and the trolling, then she would actually get more views. That was the moment that Amberlynn Reid switched, okay? Well, when you're talking about somebody that's 500 to 600 pounds, okay, and, you know, other people that are that way, I mean, like Tammy Slayton on 1,000 Pound Sisters, I mean, they told her she'd be dead in a year, okay? When you're compromising your weight to troll to the haters, like, that's when I'm out, okay? When your physical health, you are pandering to haters and risking your physical health, you don't care about your physical health anymore, I'm out, okay? That's when I stopped watching Amberlynn Reid. Now, I have watched some Amberlynn Reid commentary, and I do see tweets come up about it, and apparently she is dating, or was dating, this gal that, I don't really know much about it, if you want to know the truth, okay? I mean, I know the girl's name, I'm not going to say it, but that this girl had an ex-girlfriend that passed away, and they're alleging that this girl is a feeder, okay? And a feeder is somebody that gets off on feeding people that are, like, morbidly obese, okay? There's been movies made about it. There's been documentaries made about it. It's like an addiction kind of thing, right? It's like a weird obsession kind of thing. I don't really know that much about feeders, so that's as far as I'm going to go about that. But I do know this, okay, that a lot of these TV shows where they cover people that are, like, morbidly obese or trying to lose weight and things like that, they do cover this. In fact, Tammy Slayton dated this guy that was a feeder, and her entire family got concerned because she was dating this guy. And when he would come over, he would order all his food and he would have snacks. Tammy's brother, Chris, confronts him. And it's like, you gotta go, brother. If you're gonna continue to, like, say all this kind of shit, like, you gotta go. Like, you're not gonna stick around here, and you're not gonna be, you know, blah, 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 doing this and doing that. Like, this is her health. Amy Slayton talks to him, and she's like, you know, like, dude, seriously, like, you're gonna go. Like, you're, you know, they all confront him. Tammy is, like, just wants to be loved at this point. This is years ago. This is before, you know, the weight loss surgery and stuff. Tammy just wants to be loved at this point, right? This is before she gets married and all this kind of stuff. So the whole family is concerned about her dating this guy, right? And when they go in and they look at his history, he has a history of dating morbidly obese women and feeding them. Like, that's what he gets off on, okay? It's like the sexual obsession for him. So the whole, it's literally several episodes of this one season that the whole family is very concerned about this guy. So does it surprise me that people that are covering Amberlynn Reid or people that are watching Amberlynn Reid are concerned that she might be dating somebody that allegedly could be a feeder, that has a history history of dating people like this? No, I think it's very scary. I think it's very scary. I think what's even scarier is that much like Tammy Slayton that just wanted to be loved, Amberlynn Reid seems to have no issue with it and has like kind of come out and addressed it and acted like they broke up and then changed the name of her girlfriend to something else, like they're still dating. I don't know. I don't keep up with that closely. But this is what I know, okay? I've said this for years and years and years. Like, for those of you that don't know, I've been sober for 29 and a half years, okay? Heroin addicts don't make it to 70. They just don't, all right? I mean, I have had so many friends of mine that have overdosed from opioids and heroin, okay? I mean, the opioid addiction, the opioid epidemic in the United States is, I mean, off the charts. People are dying all the time from the opioid epidemic. It's why the United States is called the United States of Addiction, okay? Heroin addicts and opioid addicts that use heroin and opioids for long periods of time do not live for long periods of time, okay? Similarly, if she continues to eat and do the things that she's doing the way that she is without worrying about her health, it's going to be a sad state of affairs for Amberlynn Reid. And it really worries me about her, and it really scares me for her. So the fact that she's pandering and playing into the hate because it's going to make her paychecks bigger, to me, I'm out on that one. You know what I mean? I'm out on that. And so Amberlynn Reid, drama phone, please. I'll bring the drama phone back. Somebody said, did you guys want me to, somebody said, so many people, well, this is right here, I live for the HOA drama, but there are a couple about the HOA drama. You want me to do a whole video about the HOA drama? I can do a whole video. Let me know in the comment section below if you want an unpopular opinions video, if you want me to do a whole HOA drama video, put it in the comment section below. Let me know. I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.